Good morning. Today is May 17th, and we're about to take another trip up to the North Slope of Alaska, but I wanted to give you guys a shot of what we're looking at here. It is currently 4 o'clock in the morning on May 17th, and we're still this bright. Don't even need headlights. Well, we probably should use them, but we don't even really need them on our way into Anchorage. So, as I said earlier, it's about 4:15 in the morning. And I wanted to address a myth that is often believed by the majority of the people. And they say, oh, Alaska, it's such a wonderful place, but don't you guys have 6 months of sun and 6 months of darkness? And the truth is, no. We actually have more light year-round than we do darkness. And right now, as I said, it's 4:16 in the morning. When I come home tomorrow night, I'll be landing at 8 o'clock and heading out at 9. I'm going to bring you with me on that. And we're going to take a look at how much sun. The sun will actually still be in the sky. Sun's not setting until 10:35 or so. But then we have an hour to 2 hours of twilight. And right now it's not fully getting dark yet. At all, I should say. But that's the summer, and that's what people expect. But what I wanted to address was this idea that we have 6 months of darkness, at least in the area of Alaska that I live, which is south central Alaska. I live in a city called Wasilla, just north of Anchorage. And where I live, there is light. Well, I should say that the shortest day of the year has 6.5 hours of sunlight above, where sun is above the horizon. But because the sun angle is so low here, our twilights tend to last a lot longer than they do down in the lower 48. We get a full hour of twilight every day. And so even though the sun is setting at 3:30 in the afternoon, we're still getting light at 4:15, 4:30 is when it's starting to really just get dark. And that's on the shortest day. Then come March 1st, roughly, sometime around the solstice, we're getting light until about 7. Sun's going down about 7 o'clock at night, and it is light until close to 8 o'clock. Then the daylight savings time hits, and from that point on, this year was March 14th or something. From that point on, then we have light until 9 o'clock at night. Now, granted, in the morning, the sun is not rising until about 8 o'clock at that point. So we're just getting twilight again at 7 or 7:30. But, you have all that light at the end of the day. People around here change. Their attitudes change. Everybody gets super happy, and everybody is super friendly, and there's just this air, this feeling in the air, this air of excitement and this air of joy, because everybody now is starting to get ready for the summer. I don't think I've ever mentioned what I do for a living. I do architecture, and right now I'm on a business trip again, like last time that we went up there to the North Slope. The North Slope is the area of Alaska where they drill, and then they look for oil. But I'm heading up there to the North Slope today. One of the buildings I recently designed was an emergency services facility, which has things such as the fire department and the ambulance services that the borough provides. And I was in a meeting, and we were discussing the light. We were discussing the fact that it was exciting. It was March, and it was snowing outside. We had all this light, and it was still snowing. And that's when they told me that right then, in March, this time of year every year, is their busiest season. It has the most suicides, and it has the most, all the hospitals are filled with people that are struggling with mental health. Suicide is something that is common here, unfortunately, in the springtime, or right before spring, end of winter, second winter, as it were. And it's very unfortunate. And these people they feel despair. They feel like it's the only way for them, and I feel really bad for them. You know, I don't ever look down on somebody who's done it. I look at them with sadness and never with disgust, because it is just, they're doing everything they can, and in their minds they feel like this is the only way, and it's going to help everyone around them. It's going to make their lives easier. They don't realize that that's not actually true, and it's very tragic. And oftentimes here, people will kill themselves in front of the hospital, and I don't know why. I'm assuming it's because, you know, we have all this light. It's supposed to be spring, right? It's supposed to be exciting, and you know, yet we're still having storms. We're still having snow. We're still having nasty weather, and it's cold. And I think people, they just get overwhelmed. They're tired of the snow. I mean, we have snow for 6 months a year. We legitimately have snow for 6 months a year. And you know, it can be tough. I mean, I know that come March, I am really sick of it, and I'm ready for the spring. But it's funny because, you know, you get to September and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait. The snow's coming. We're going to have snow. Did you hear that there's going to be snow this weekend? And then, you know, it'll snow maybe, and it'll melt, and it doesn't usually stick until sometime around Halloween. Maybe a little before, maybe a little after. I think in 2021, we didn't get our first snow that stuck until November 11th. And at that point, it stuck, and it did not melt until mid-April. And so we had snow all that time. But you learn to live with it. You know, you think, oh, I couldn't handle it. It's always cold. And to some degree, it is cold. But it's not as cold as you think it is. Numbers don't really mean a lot up here. Up here, when we're talking about temperature, the numbers don't necessarily equate to what they might elsewhere. And what I mean is, the cold is dry. And, you know, you always hear about a dry heat. Dry cold is the same thing. So it can be 30 degrees outside, and you're fine to go out in a t-shirt for a few minutes, and it doesn't feel that terrible. But at the same time, it does get really cold. I mean, you do have your days where it's 20 below zero, or you know, thereabouts, maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher, depending on where you are in the States. But those days are typically pretty far and few between. The average temperature during January is somewhere around, 18 degrees, I think. And 18 degrees is actually pretty comfortable up here. You usually just need a regular jacket. I mean, most people think about it being cold and being out in the elements. And if you're going to be in the elements, it is cold. But most life is really about going to your car, going to the building you're going in, whether it's your house or your work or whatever, and going back to the car to a building, back to the car to a building. It's usually not that bad because it's not enough time to really get cold. So it's something to think about as well. So let's go to Anchorage Airport, head up to Deadhorse, and then we're going to a town called Nuiqsut. And we are going to go check that out just like we did Point Lay and Barrow. So hold on to your hats. It's going to be a wild ride.
Oh, girl, it must be you again. You have gone straight to my head. Take the pills and go to bed, but I'm still hooked on this. Well, you are sacred in a way. I don't know God, but still have faith that He will manifest some way when I am next to you. Asked your father for your hand, but it didn't matter what he said. The thought of you in a white dress, I don't think I can shake it. We'll get a little place upstate, stay till the kids all graduate, and talk of moving every day. But who are we kidding? We made all our memories here, felt our joys and shed our tears. And when the Holy Ghost appears, hope he sends me back a few more years. I'll be buried next to you, where we'll keep on turning to. But if I am next to you, I do not care. I do not care.
I am now in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, and I think the local temperature is 18 degrees, and as you can see, there's still snow everywhere because this part of the country, this part of the state, gets snow for 9 months a year, or I should say cold for 9 months a year. Like I said, it's about 18 degrees outside, and there's not much to see here. I'm currently waiting for a shuttle. I was going to walk to the Prudhoe Bay Hotel and get some breakfast, but as it turns out, the Prudhoe Bay Hotel no longer exists. It's been shut down. So now I'm waiting for a shuttle to go to a different hotel where they don't really have any breakfast. They put it away at 7:30. It is now 8 o'clock in the morning, and there's really nothing to eat except, you know, the few things that they said they have out. So hopefully I can get something to eat. Worst case scenario, I should be able to get something closer to lunchtime and be back here at, well, not at this particular airport, at the Wright's Air Service for my, let's see, is a 1:30 flight, so I have to be back about noon. So we'll catch you in a second. So this is not something you see every day, and when they say be aware of bears in the area, they're not talking brown bears or black bears, they're talking polar bears. That's kind of fun. Well, I made it to Deadhorse, and I'm sitting, well, I'm walking around, I guess, in the Aurora Hotel, and I am waiting for my plane to arrive about, I don't know, I think I leave at 1:30. I should probably be there at noon. Anyway, I just want to show you what Deadhorse looks like. Looking out this window, you see town over there, but mostly there is just nothing. Out beyond over there, a ways, you've got the Arctic Ocean somewhere, but yeah. And then here we have just a little sitting and quiet library room, and so here we go.
Don't always be the one I want at midnight.
Guys, I just wanted to show you something. It is 11:15 at night, 11:15 p.m. in Nuiqsut. Right now, the sun really doesn't go down, and so I just wanted to give you it's kind of cold out here, and I only have a t-shirt on. So I'm just going to turn the camera around and let you guys take a look. Again, right now, it's 11:15 p.m. and there is no darkness in sight. It's crazy, huh? So what happened is I got up to go get a drink before I went to bed and got myself a little Sprite. And what's cool about up here, I don't know if you can see this, I've got a little drumstick as well. Part of your fee for staying here, part of your the charge or whatever they call it for staying at this place. It's called the Kupik, I think is what it is, the Kupik Hotel here in Nuiqsut. But it's actually also part of a man camp. So the oil refineries are around here, and there is the man camps. So a lot of ConocoPhillips employees come up here, and I'm not positive, but I think it's probably run by ConocoPhillips because of the fact that it's very much like being in a man camp. In a man camp, you go up there and all of your meals are supplied, all of your drinks, everything is there, it's open, it's out in the open, you just go grab it. And so that's what I just did right now. I went off to go get a drink. I got myself an ice cream, and I don't have to pay for it because it's all part of the fee. So even though I'm not a ConocoPhillips employee, the fee for staying in this motel or hotel or whatever you call it gets you the same benefits as though you were staying here and working. So it's kind of cool. Tomorrow I'll hope to get some footage of Nuiqsut. It's not much here. It's much bigger than Point Lay though, and it is nicer. And I think I'm going to try to see if I can get a trip down to the, well, you probably can't read this because it's backwards. It's the Alaska Commercial Company, but it's got the Nuiqsut Alaska logo on the back, which is kind of cool. It's just a little souvenir thing. So I might see if I can go get me a shirt. Oh, check this out. So I got to Prudhoe Bay, and I went and spent a number of hours at the Aurora Hotel waiting for my flight out to Nuiqsut. And so I finally make it over to that airline company. I won't name the name, but I turn in my bag. We load up, we fly out here, and I discover as we're unloading everything off the plane, my bag didn't make it. Now in my bag, I have more than just clothes. I had the drawings that I have to review, for my job tomorrow. And I had also a CPAP machine. I use a CPAP machine each night, and so it helps me breathe, and that's not here. And it also has all of my clothes. So they get back, these guys fly back. Now we're only about a 30-minute flight, 30-minute flight away from Prudhoe Bay, or from Deadhorse. And so they get back to Deadhorse, and they say, hey, we're going to go ahead and take this bag that was left here at the counter, because it never made it on the plane. We're going to take it over to this other airline that's going to be flying out there a little bit later. So they take it to that other airline, and that other airline comes out here, but apparently the airline did not communicate with the pilot that they were supposed to leave my bag. So they never unloaded my bag. And they flew back and took my bag back to Prudhoe Bay. Only now it's at a different airline that I'm not going to be flying in tomorrow. So after I get there tomorrow, I arrive on the one airline. I have to go over to the building of the other airline and see if I can get my bag. Hopefully it's there. And then I have to go back to the Aurora Hotel for about 5 hours again, and then head back to the Alaska Airlines what do you call it? I guess their building, because they have their own building. So I have to go to the Alaska Airlines building after that and fly home. In the meantime, I don't have any clothes. And while I was here, I had a bit of an accident that got my clothes filthy and wet. And, they have washers and they have dryers here, but I had no way to wash them and dry them because that would put me without clothes on. And so fortunately, there were some people around here that pulled together, got me a shirt to borrow, got me a pair of pants to borrow, got me a phone charger so I could use my phone. And with all that, I was able to go take a shower and go wash my clothes. So we washed the clothes, and now everything's clean for tomorrow. But I'll end up wearing the same clothes as I did today. And at this point, there was no point to even bring in a bag because all it did was carry it around all day and for them to leave it. So it is what it is, right? But let's switch over to tomorrow, and I'll see you on that side. Well, got a little bit of wind, so I'm hoping that it doesn't mess up the camera, or I should say the microphone. But I just got back to Prudhoe Bay. I wasn't able to get any footage from any more footage from Nuiqsut because I ended up having to work, and I don't have a truck there. I'm relying on other people to give me a ride everywhere, so it was a little bit difficult. But I want to show you, I've landed back in Prudhoe Bay, and let me show you a little bit of this. You talk about snow blinding, and it's really hard to see for me, especially blue eyes. But look at the snowdrift behind me up on these stairs. It's crazy. So it's I don't know what the temperature is. Somewhere probably around 18 degrees, 20 degrees maybe. I'm not sure. It doesn't feel that cold, but the wind is pretty bitter. So let me turn the camera around and show you what my view is, at least right now. So here I am at the airline that I flew out of, and this is what I'm looking at. It's not much, is it? It's flat, it's white, the sky is white, the ground is white. When you're in the plane, you really can't tell the difference between the ground and the sky. It makes it a little bit nerve-wracking, I'm sure, for the pilots as well as for us, I'm sure. So, anywho, well, it is 7:45 in the evening here, and you can see outside, just how bright it is. The sun's still way up in the sky. It won't go down tonight until I think sunset is technically 10:30 something, and that means it won't get dark, or it won't. Actually, it's not really getting dark at all here. It just gets to a very, very low light. What do you call it? Very low light twilight, much like the beginning of this video, or when I first left some 39 hours ago. So anyway, I'm going to turn it around, show you a little bit of town. It looks like in the couple days I was gone, with all the sun and the warmth that came around, it looks to me like we got a lot more leaves on the trees and everything's brighter. Well, that's about it, guys. I'm on my way home now, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks for watching, and I would like to invite you to just keep watching as I drive home, play a little music, and just enjoy some scenery from Alaska. Have a great day, guys.
This morning, I miss you. I feel it in every part of my bones. Something hit me when I opened my eyes. I was feeling so empty inside. New York looks different without you. I find that all that I want to do is close my eyes, breathe and try to feel close to you. New York looks different without you. I've been walking around thinking about this distance and how I and be wild. It's all moving, and I need just a minute to be doing nothing. New York looks different without you. I find that all that I want to do is close my eyes, breathe and try to feel close to you. New York looks different without you. I've been walking around thinking about this distance and how I am missing, but I feel so close to you. It's all moving, and I need just a minute to be doing nothing. New York looks different without you. I find that all that I want to do is close my eyes, breathe and try to feel close to you. New York looks different without you. I've been walking around thinking about this distance and how I am missing, but I feel so close to you. Without you. This morning I miss you. I feel it in every part of my